The issue I'll be focusing on is that the learners in my iOS class feel that while the learning is personalized through both content and timeframes, they currently don't have a clear awareness or understanding of the following. 1. Which of their peers may be working on something similar so that they can plan to work collaboratively in order to enhance their learning, i.e., there is currently little opportunity to collaborate in class. Secondly, they have a hard time keeping the bigger picture of their learning and potential options in mind. Learning opportunities and qualifications, i.e. the learning pathways, are not visible and transparent. And thirdly, there is no consistent sharing of successes. Because the program is self-paced and individualized, there have been no celebration points or ways of recognizing who has acquired which skills or knowledge. The kids feel this would help increase their motivation as they are aware of their peer success, and also would increase the knowledge of who to go to for support within the class, as they would all know who has completed what. The first way that I could use a digital collaborative tool to address this issue is by beginning to promote awareness and collaboration through a variety of social media tools. Using social media platforms such as the following. Number 1, Facebook, for creating a space for both my learners to ask and answer questions or discuss topics and issues or ideas for how their projects are going. Number 2, a Twitter feed or feeds could be a way to help my learners connect and track information on shared topics, as well as potentially share outside the realm of just our space with experts and others working on the same types of things. Or 3, we could look at documenting our learning and thinking processes on YouTube through creating our own channel or even photo journals on Instagram. Students could video or photograph their works, thinking templates, goals and reflections, and share feedback on progress and next steps with one another. By using any of 3 social media devices and or a combination of all 3, my issue would be addressed, because if my students engage with social media that we selected, the following outcomes could in theory be met. In order to increase transparency and opportunities for collaborating, number 1, sharing and logging ideas and materials digitally, the class would know in real time what everyone else was working on and achieving. 2, I could guide the news feeds, topics, focus questions, and publicly celebrating successes in order to maintain links to the bigger picture and learning pathways and options that are available. This addresses the second part of my identified issue. And 3, by highlighting and using share, favorite, and like type tools, I could also address the third part of my issue, which is making successes and achievements more transparent and public amongst the class. The second way I could address my identified issue is by co-constructing learning and planning with my iOS class using Trello. EdTech Reviews describes Trello as an online collaboration tool that organizes projects into boards with statuses like to do, doing, and done. Boards contain task lists, which further contain cards representing a particular task that can be moved from one list to the next through drag and drop. Our school has begun incorporating the Kanban concept at all levels, so the idea of using a similar format would not be foreign to my kids. I think that my class and I could transfer our Kanban skills onto the Trello platform so that the kids are organized into similar tasks or topic groups, because they would all have tasks, stories, progress on the Trello board. It would meet aspects of issues in the following ways. Firstly, they would be able to see what everyone else is working on and when, so that discussions around similar or related work would ideally happen organically. Secondly, because everyone's projects and skill development milestones would be recorded and shared on Trello, the bigger picture would also be made more visible through the sum of all its parts. In other words, because all the thinking skills and tasks are displayed on Trello, the kids would therefore be more aware of how the tasks they are focused on feed in towards the big ideas in the IOS and the qualifications they are pursuing. The final aspect that this would address is that as tasks are moved into the pitch or completed columns of the Trello Kanban, the whole class is aware and potentially motivated by their peers' successes and achievements. The third way that I believe I can address my issue is by implementing elements of gamified learning in the form of digital badges. And this is the digital and collaborative innovation which I believe best fits my issue and context. Digital badges will help me and my learners to make their achievements more visible and ideally instill a sense of pride while acting as potential conversation starters or links to the kids and myself, setting up connections and pairings more often to support deeper and more authentic collaboration. By discussing what types of badges should be awarded for which accomplishment, skills and milestones in my class, and then implementing the badges as a visual tool will help the kids to identify where one another is at with their learning and provide leaping of points for authentic collaboration around shared goals. Similarly, I think the digital badges will address the second aspect of my issue by keeping the core elements of the bigger picture learning and ILS very visually at the forefront, not only online but in conversation, interactions and personal planning as well. In addition, I believe that having a visual catalogue of the badges and learning they represent would be the students self-select a wider variety of the potential outcomes that are available to them in iOS. Finally, because of the public nature of badges, all learners' successes would be shared in public. I believe that this sharing would be particularly powerful in my context and help to breed success, confidence and motivation as they collectively recognize one another's accomplishments and then potentially use that information to seek support and collaborate as they work towards attaining their own individual goals as well. In addition to addressing the three key elements of my identified issue, with a lack of a culture of collaboration and success sharing, digital badges also have the potential to positively impact my class in a number of ways. Some preliminary reasons I decided to focus on implementing digital badges as my preferred method of addressing my issues are 1. Social media saturation. At the moment I have introduced Google Classroom with my iOS class and I am using it to try to begin conversations, collect assignments, share resources, etc. I am also aware that my learners are involved in a number of social media platforms both in their other classes and for personal use. Because of these two things, I worry that they may already be near saturation point with social media and therefore new platforms or identities I want to engage in with will get lost in the shuffle. Secondly, I have also currently chosen to put the idea of using Trello on the back burner. While I do think this type of collaborative use of Kanban is a logical next step, the Trello platform to me is not intuitive or student user friendly enough for this to be an effective use of our time to learn how to do effectively, be a collaborative enough interface to really meet the collaborative issues I have outlined as my focus. For example, while Trello could help my kids to be more aware of the learning around them, I think that without also implementing other aspects of agile project management to, to enhance and manage, Trello on its own would not have the desired effect I am after. I think that in the future, this may be a good element to add, but at this stage, using agile concepts in school is still pretty new to me and our school, and I think I need more experience using it myself in my collaborative teaching teams before I can successfully use all the elements together with my class. Third thing, I believe that digital badges are a natural next step to what I have also already begun in this class and connect with existing digital gamification tool I already use, which is Class Dojo. I feel that they will tap into the gaming tendencies that many of the kids are already engaged with, and I believe that digital badges address key aspects of my issue that I want to improve in a logical and manageable way, particularly now that we are nearing the halfway point for the year. At this stage, we have been using Class Dojo on a very simplistic level to reward the most basic behaviors and skills that are a part of the targeted learning for this class context. I currently use Class Dojo to reward attendance, punctuality, goal setting, meeting deadlines, time management, and other similar behaviors that this targeted group of learners required support with. At first, I worried it being too young for the group, but it is safe to say that not only has handing out Class Dojo points badges become a more anticipated and enjoyable part of a class routine, but all individual basic attendance and hand-in rates have improved measurably since implementing it in Term 1. By beginning a system of digital badges which acknowledge the skill acquisition we are aiming towards, I hope that I see a similar improvement to that area as well, largely through increased collaboration. For example, when using Class Dojo for attendance, the kids began to have more conversations about why they were or weren't getting to school and helped one another address the issues and attitudes that needed fixing. My hope is that a similar thing will happen where the kids begin talking more about their learning and how they reached milestones or gained skills that they have now achieved badges for. In this way, I am hoping to use the badges as a gateway to better learning conversations and peer collaboration in more focused ways around particular learning goals, skills, experiences, and outcomes.